Rest in peace, Grandma. Says heck no.
Check, check, check. Nope, he's still there by mic, so I'll be silent. Okay, the countdown froze, so we'll just go ahead and jump into the intro. And you ready? I don't know. OBS has just crapped on me. Okay, you ready for the intro? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Discord? What is up, YouTube? My name is Shades Hayes. I am joined, as always, by Artemis, and welcome to the Subject 4 podcast. We are a fan-made podcast where we talk about all things Project 863. If you're wondering what Project 863 is, first of all, where have you been? Second, I don't have enough time to answer that question. You can catch up on all the previous seasons and episodes on the Matthias channel on YouTube, previously the Project 863 channel on YouTube, because Project 863 is dead, or is it? Question mark. What do you think, Artie? Is Project 863 dead?
It's absolutely not dead, and it really confirmed that in the latest episode. I do want to apologize to everyone if you do hear me kind of nasally. I am getting over a cold. Was not COVID. I was tested. It did come out negative. So
Yay.
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 Yay. It's not the COVID. So yeah. I'm just checking my mic levels right now.
Level.
Sorry, so you're gonna hear a couple of coughs. I'm sorry. I'm trying to survive and breathe over here. I'm so sorry.
We require oxygen.
I do, but it's man. But 863 is definitely coming back in a revenge type of style way, like in your face. This is how it's going to be, and Neener Matthias. So
It always seems to pull them back in, no matter how much Matthias wants to say it's dead and wants to distance himself from Project 863. He gets pulled right back in. He can't escape it. It's his destiny. He is a part of Project 863. And until they finish whatever it is that they're meant to do, this will continue happening.
yes. And sorry if you heard that sneeze in the background. I do have a sick kitty with me right now who wants to really walk on my keyboard. I am just a mess today. I'm sorry.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yes. My sister's cat, who has a cold, is in my office right now because my sister is sleeping. And if the cat was left outside without anyone watching it, it just meows until somebody comes and finds him. So
the same thing I do.
You just sit there and meow until somebody comes and finds you.
I just talk until someone notices me.
No. Well, speaking of somebody who wants to get noticed, let's talk about this episode. This ghost who wants to get noticed.
This specter, this entity.
How did you like that segue? That was pretty good. Professional.
That was a nice segue. That was a nice segue.
It was. So season 3, episode 4 on the Matthias channel, the 863 series, is titled Caught on Camera Paranormal Footprints Leading Away. And we first open with Matthias' new office, and Sam is on camera. What'd you think of Matthias' new office?
How cool was it to see the poster in the background of the opening?
Here is a little BTS for you guys. That poster was created by our sponsor, which we will get to a little bit later. It is a one-of-a-kind poster. You will not see it being sold anywhere because it was distinctly created for Matthias's birthday. And us moderators of Spellbound, we got together and we commissioned this fantastic artist to create this work, and we all signed it. So if you look, Siraxa, who is also a moderator on my Discord as well, he's like predominantly in the episode because his name is right there in the bottom corner.
Yeah, well, all you see is Sirax's signature in the bottom corner, and it pans up every so often, and you can see my long, overly empathetic message to Matt on his birthday with my signature underneath it. But it was P.O.P. You are an amazing P.O.P.
You're the best P.O.P.
Yeah. I'm leaving the scribble in. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Yes. So, okay. So in context, I was on the phone when Shades was creating this draft that he was going to have put on. He was going to have Squatter put on the poster. And instead of people, he wrote P.O.P. You're an amazing P.O.P. And then he scribbled it out and put people. And Squatter threatened Shades to keep the scribble in because he thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was like P-E-O-P-E. I forgot the L. It was like that. P-O-P. You are an amazing P-O-P. Happy birthday. Eat more McRibs. Love
more.
Shades.
Eat more McRibs.
Yes.
Yeah, and if somebody like really pays attention to that poster, you will see my actual name on there. Because I signed it like my name, so because I don't know.
I don't know if it panned over that far.
No, it doesn't. But I mean, if there's going to be more episodes inside of Matthias's new office, you might be able to get a little Easter egg on Artemis because it's a It's on there somewhere. I don't know where I'm at.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where Squatter ended up putting me. But yeah, it was a fun thing that we did, and it was nerve-wracking because when we shipped it to him, we were all wait, how did that go? Because I remember it was like a big ordeal. We shipped it to his house.
It was a huge ordeal. We shipped it to his house.
Yeah,
without him knowing.
We did ship it to the studio because we knew that they were going to be taking a break, and we didn't want it just sitting, at a UPS office or something like that. And
Squatter is freaking. He's beside himself at this point. He's like, oh, I wonder. I mean, it shows the package is delivered. And he's like, I wonder if he got it. What if he's mad? Like, we didn't ask if we could send it to his house. Like,
he had no idea it was coming. He had no idea it was coming.
No clue. And then he gets it, and it was like a couple days later because Matt is Matt. He just lets it sit there for like 2 or 3 days.
He was out of town. I remember.
Was he out of town? I thought he just let it sit there for like 2 to 3 days. He's like, I guess I'll open this now. Don't know what it is.
I remember we were freaking out because the tracker said that it had arrived, and we're like, he didn't say anything though. So I end up DMing him and been like, hey, how are you doing? He's like, yeah, I'm just out of town, getting away to do some writing. And I'm all like, oh, that's why you haven't said anything.
And then he finally opens it and he's like, I was wondering what this mysterious package was that came to my house. Hopefully it's not a bomb. So I opened it and he sent like a really nice message. He was really appreciative. He really enjoyed it, and it was just he hung us out to dry there for a few days because we're like, what? Why did he not get this thing? What is he just rude? What's happening?
Yeah, and the other moderators they didn't get clued in on it. It was just us three that were kind of watching, anticipating, and Squatter's just like sitting there beside himself, like, oh, he hates it. He hates it. I'm like, why would he
hates
hate it?
He is so mad right now. He's so angry.
Why would he hate it? I'm on it. No.
He's gonna ban us all.
Oh my gosh. So
we're gonna get restraining orders.
So there's a little BTS of that poster. If you look, it's in the middle. Squatter did design, and the other two posters on the left and the right, and those are up on his store. We'll talk about his store a little bit later on. But let's continue on the show beats. So we open to the new office. Sam is on camera. They're waiting on John Doe's email about that they made in the previous episode after they found the chalk outline underneath the floorboards. And Matthias tells Sam that he got new alerts, like it's still going on. So they go to the team that's near Bailey's office that consists of Bailey, Woods, Tanner. And Matthias lets them know that he got alerts on the NateDsz. And he brings it up on his phone. He looks at it, says that there's no movement and that he can see. But again, we know that the chalk outline doesn't have a camera. Like, that room doesn't have a camera. So they decide to go over to Red Base. They go upstairs, and there's a smiley face spray painted on the chalk outline in the GG's old break room. The smiley face has 2 X's on the eyes, like the look closer, that is downstairs. They discuss different avenues that they can approach this on. They can go on the physical and like try to test the ink itself. They can, do kind of like be detectives. Or they can go metaphysical and be like more like ghost hunters. And they decide to go more ghost hunters because this is just really eerie and spooky. And, writing that just suddenly appears on the wall kind of is more leading towards ghost than something scientific. They go back to Megadust. They search Amazon for ghost hunting products, but they end up going to eBay. They talk about magnetic field detectors, a spirit box, which you enjoyed that joke, didn't you, babe?
That was my favorite part of this whole episode when Bailey's sitting there and she goes, "We should get the thing that's like a radio where you change the channels." And Tanner goes, "A radio?" She's like, "No, the other thing that's like a radio."
I love your Bailey voice.
I know. God, that was so hilarious.
Like a radio.
It's like a radio. It's different. Look at the little ghost. He's so cute.
Bailey, I hope you're listening.
No, she's idle. She hasn't been on in a while. So.
She does watch us, though, babe. So she could come
I love you,
in here
Bailey.
real quick.
Bailey's the best.
Bailey is the best. Bailey is spellbound. They settle on an iPhone detector that does thermal imaging, LiDAR, and static resistance. And it's called a plasma iPhone detector. It plugs into your iPhone and allows you to detect plasma. 2 weeks later, back at Matthias's office, and 2 weeks later, and John Doe still hasn't gotten a hold of them. That's a long
Weirdo.
time, John Doe. Where are you, John Doe? But back at Matthias's office, the packages arrive, and the first thing that Matthias opens is the iPhone, and it was shipped by Paranormal Prowess. So check that Prowess for.
And this thing, and let me remind you, this thing was $450.
That bothers you?
That bothers me that something that small was $450.
Okay.
It's true, it works, but still, $450. I feel like there could have been a better deal somewhere else. Yeah. You always got to shop around, even for paranormal investigation equipment. Get those Black Friday deals.
Yeah, exactly. And they get so excited about this little iPhone adapter that they just immediately run to Red Base with it.
Yeah.
Not, forgetting the other packages they ordered, but just, hey, cool new. Of course, it's a Matthias. That is so Matthias. Cool new thing for my phone. Let's go try it out now. I have to do it now.
Look at this thing for my brand new iPhone 13 Pro Max.
Oh, jeez. I'm an Android
just plugs
user.
it in and he's like, how does it work?
So they find footsteps near the chalk outline. The footsteps lead to the theater room. They went through the wall of the theater room, down the stairs to the couch area, and headed into a closet. The closet holds the filing cabinet they had never searched in the previous season. That
frustrated me so much.
Yes.
This completed me. Like finally, we get closure on the freaking the filing cabinet.
Yeah, and but what I enjoyed about this is that the footsteps leading to the filing cabinet makes it without a shadow of a doubt proof that this is related to 863. That this isn't just some happy little thing that they're doing in the office and that they're continuing on their, happy YouTuber lives. This is something that is 863 related and they're still tangled up in it. That even though Matthias is all Project 863 is dead. So
that's the last connection to Project 863 that they have. So that's why they literally shoved it in a closet and forgot about it.
Yeah.
They shoved it in a closet with the bounty paper towels and just forgot about it.
So in the filing cabinet, Matthias takes a hammer to the lock. The first
he does a very poor job, by the way.
Hey, he got it open though.
I'm just saying, like, how many times do you have to miss the same spot?
Don't make me laugh. It makes me cough, and it sounds gross.
I'm sorry.
He takes a hammer to it, Yeah, I mean, he did better than what I would do. Hammers and Artemis don't mix. But the first thing that we see is a document of Wyatt Chase, who is a biochemist, and then Talia Jacobs, Chloe DeWitt. Her official
Is it
title is
DeWright or
redacted, but we do know that she works on the project Spire. Spire is also an acronym, because it's got
acronym?
little dots after every letter.
Yeah.
And then they come across a file that is fully redacted, which is Deborah's file. Last name is also redacted, and Matthias tries so hard to find out that last name, looking through the light and stuff, and can't find it.
It's Widow 3. It's gotta be
one
Widow
of the
3.
biggest things is that we find out that she's blonde hair, green eyes. So
I would not imagine.
What were you picturing?
No, I would not. I would not picture Deb as blonde at all. I was thinking more like
very
maybe.
low right now, babe.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I don't know what it is.
Let me check my levels.
Is he just low for me?
Check. Hello?
I can hear you, but it's very low.
That's weird. It's usually not that.
And that is weird. You are next to your microphone, right?
Yeah, I'm like literally speaking into it, so.
Oh, okay.
My levels are fine. I can hear myself fine. It said, Wavelength says I'm peaking actually, so.
So it's just Discord right now.
It's Discord. Maybe I can leave and come back.
I don't know. Let me see.
Princess says, they're saying it's just you.
It's just me? Okay. Well, I can kind of hear you, so that's fine. So go ahead.
I lost my train of thought. I did not imagine Deb being blonde at all. I would have pictured like dirty blonde. Really, I was leaning towards brunette, but that's blonde was not at all what I was picturing.
So you were more picturing like all the fan images I had seen was brown hair, brown eyes.
Well, I've seen a few now. I've seen a few where Deb is redheaded. She has red hair.
Oh, okay.
I could see red hair. I'm more brunette than anything, but not blonde. Yeah. And by the way, Deb's last name, I am confident in the fact that Deb's last name is in fact Widow 3.
Winifred? Oh yeah,
Widow
you
3.
started that, didn't you?
I'm confident in that.
Means?
It started with Syntech University, and we were writing bios for the characters, and I had to write a bio for Deb. And I think Squatter fixed it to where the name was actually redacted, but you could hover over it or something. There was some kind of way you could see what it said under the black bar, and under the black bar was Widow 3. It's Deb Widow 3. It's D3B Deb with a 3. It was just stupid. I don't know where I was just like Widow 3. That sounds like a real last name. Let's use that. It was literally just a placeholder that I was using until I could think of something better, and it just stuck.
With a 3.
With a 3.
With a 3.
With a 3.
You're so creative.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
This proves it.
Deborah with a 3.
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought was interesting that was on I haven't gone and seen if the files are on Spellbound Plus yet. But one of the things that was very interesting to me was the file said recommended directly by Nelson.
I know, that was shocking.
Yeah.
I could not believe when it said recommended directly by Nelson when they were talking about Deb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? Why? Like, how did she get a reference from Nelson Cyphus?
Well, we do know that all three of them were co-founders. So at one point in time, maybe they were all friends. And Nelson was maybe you know how like there's always like in a group of friends, there's always like that core friend that keeps everyone together. And maybe Nelson was that. But
it almost leads me to believe that Nelson, and this is going to sound weird, but it almost leads me to believe that Nelson isn't even real. Like he could be a made up entity that was constructed out of the minds of Deb or Wesley, or it could have just been a front. You know, they could be using Nelson as the head of this organization and they're working behind the scenes, but Nelson doesn't even exist.
So are you talking more like a Space Odyssey HAL 2000 or whatever?
A what?
HAL. You don't know HAL? Space Odyssey
HAL?
2001. You've never seen that movie?
No.
We are going to educate you this weekend. But no, it's about, I mean, it's a very weird movie. If you haven't read the book, then it gets even weirder for you. But it was made basically trying to predict what 2001 was going to look like, and it, was way off. But they had a spaceship that flew itself, and the astronaut's name was Dave. And I can't remember the other astronaut's name, but they were both on this spaceship.
Is it that freaking red eye thing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I cannot do that.
I got
Dave.
it now.
Well, basically, Hal goes crazy, and because he's the computer, the onboard like autopilot, he is the ship. And so, are you saying like maybe Syntech is run by a Howl type of version, but it's a Cyphus?
No, I'm saying that Cyphus is completely made up. Does not exist, never existed, will never exist. He's a complete figment, an enigma made up out of the mind of someone who works at Syntech. They use his name, they use his identity, but he doesn't exist. He only exists on paper.
In our hearts. No, sorry.
In our hearts, he will live on.
But, well, I'll come back to that because there's something that kind of disproves that theory. Sorry.
And Garrett makes a good point. He says, except he was at a conference. But was he really? That newspaper clipping, we don't even know if that was real. It doesn't say what newspaper it was from, or it has no date on it. Could that have been printed?
I think you're going a little crazy with the...
No, I'm not. I'm saying, like,
real?
We don't know it's real. Prove that it's real. Prove to me that Nelson Cyphus exists. You can't.
Neck is not real.
Yes, it is.
No!
It lives in our necks.
In our hearts.
Forever. It will live on in our necks forever.
Well... We come across a file, Wesley Nathaniel, Gary Reynolds. So in the Gary Reynolds file, it did state that the only person that Gary Reynolds talks to is Nelson Cyphus. So there has to be somebody named Nelson Cyphus for Gary to only talk to him.
But isn't it odd that there is no file on Nelson Cyphus? None. And these obviously aren't Nelson's files. I mean, that's not what they weren't written by him because it speaks about Nelson in the third person, so they're not his. So who do these files belong to? Who wrote them?
Well, okay. So you would go through the list. Let me go through the list of the people that we do have. We have Wesley Nathaniel, Gary Reynolds. We have Deborah. We've got Chloe DeWitt, Talia Jacobs, Wyatt Chase, Jordan Kay, Benjamin Cobalt, Daniela Reed, Autumn Hill, Carly Lewis, Marie Sanchez, Levi Foster, Bryce, I didn't catch the last name of that one, Heather Williams, Cole, Damian, Elizabeth, I'm pulling a Matt. I don't know how to spell Isabella's. I don't know how to say Isabella's last name.
Type it in the chat and we'll figure it out.
Iloches, something like that. So okay, do I have any more names? No. And then we go to the patient medical files. So logically, the person who owns these files or made these files would be the person who is left out.
Right.
And that would be a Nelson Cyphus because there is no file on him. So therefore it should be his, right?
Because why would Nelson talk about himself in the third person? That doesn't make any sense.
That is true. But why? Because the first theory is that it's written by Jordan, but why would Jordan make her own file?
Why would Jordan have a file on herself?
And why would Deb make an own file? Like maybe
nursing is not real.
Even Gary Reynolds has a file. So it's like,
yes.
So we're going to have to go back on our old notes, compare our new notes, unless Jordan had an accomplice in the magazine, like an editor or something, and he was keeping these files for Jordan. Does that make sense?
It could be. Yeah, it could be. Could very well be.
Because we're missing somebody. We're going to have to compare these names because the only name that is left out is Nelson Cyphus. And that's a little sus, suspicious.
He can't, I don't think he's real. I don't think he exists.
They notice on the top layer is the patient medical files. Wood stated that this all started when they brought the filing cabinet in, like all the ghosts and paranormal activity started when they brought it in. Matthias uses his device on the new iPhone device, and he notices that one file is cold than everyone else. Then we do have it next time on the Matthias channel. It looks like we're going to look at the file. We get an email from John Doe, and it's about Benjamin and that he is not talking, and that there is an opportunity that they are going to visit B27 in jail. So that is where we're at. Something else happened today. Let me pull that up. Two hours ago, on the Matthias channel, on the community page, was posted. Ben is telling me that when he occupied Red Base in the past, writing appeared on the walls for him, but also that he heard voices. He said he would hear them. He would hear them soon as well. What on earth does this mean? We haven't heard anything, and we're trying to figure out what he could possibly mean. Any ideas? So, interesting. I do want to come back later, but you have an announcement, don't you, over there?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah,
I have an announcement.
We have something special going on this Friday from one of our sponsors.
We do. The Subject 4 podcast has a sponsor, and they are the greatest sponsor of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, the Subject 4 podcast is brought to you today by the one, the only, CrouchingBison.com. CrouchingBison.com is having a Black Friday sale. You can get up to, is it 15 or 20%?
15% off.
If you can get 15% off your purchase of $20 or more tomorrow and tomorrow only, if you use the coupon code Happy Bison Days. You go to crouchingbison.com, use the coupon code Happy Bison Days, get 15% off your entire purchase of $20 or more. You can buy movie posters. They have hoodies. I've got my hoodie. I love it. It's sleek. It's stylish. It makes me look distinguished. They have t-shirts, they have coffee mugs, they even have freebies that you can get your hands on. So don't wait. Go on over to crouchingbison.com, use the coupon code Happy Bison Days for 15% off your entire purchase of $20 or more. You won't regret it. Tell them Shade sent you.
Yes, thank you so much, Squatter, for sponsoring us and all the hard work that you do behind the scenes for the podcast to make the podcast look great. Once again, the link is in the description, or you can ask any of the moderators here on Discord or even on YouTube. They will be happy to provide that link. And once again, it is 15% off of purchases $20 and more. So let's say you go on there and you buy some stickers, you buy a mug, and you're at $15. To get that 15% off, you would have to spend another $5. But
got to be over $20 to receive the discount.
And I mean, you'd be supporting an artist that supports the community and your platform. Yeah. So that is one of the reasons why we
support the Buffalo. Buy the Buffalo's merchandise.
I also do want to say a little tidbit, the Black Friday 15% off sale that you see on the screen. That is our lovely Zoe. Yes, that is our lovely Zoe supporting the Bison gear, which you can head over there. And once again, those posters that are hanging up in Matthias's office, the two that are on the left side and the right side, and not the one in the middle, but the ones on either side, you can purchase those and you can, deck out your room and make it look like Matthias's office if you want to. It's one of those cool things that you can do. In fact, I was talking to Squatter earlier, and he said that Matthias even purchased another poster from him. So support an artist that Matthias deeply supports as well. So thank you again.
I've got my poster. I love it. I've got one. That's one down. I've got about 10 more to go, but I will own every single poster on that website. So help me. I will do it. My house will be filled with these.
I have two posters in my office right now. I think of the season 2 Project 863, the red and black, and then the season 2 Project 863 with Matthias with the bat walking away from the camera with the snake emblem.
I've got the season 2 Project 863, the Remember to Breathe, and I have to get season 1. When season 3 comes out, I'll get season 3. I'm going to have one from every season. I'm going to collect them all. They're like Pokemon. You got to get them all.
At least you don't have to go catch them all. You just have to go make a purchase.
Season 2, I choose you.
So,
boo.
Thank you so much, Squatter. Let's move on to our theories. You posted a theory on Spellbound and Reddit. Would you like to share with the class?
I can. Even though I got reamed for it on the internet. People are mean. But
I told you not to read the comments. You're not.
I read all the comments, and people are mean, and they hurt my feelings.
It was probably maybe 2% of the comments were mean.
They were mean. It hurted my feelings.
Oh, okay. All right, babe. Go ahead and share your wonderful theory with us.
Okay, I'm doing the finger thing right now.
No, he doesn't mean the middle finger. He means the 2 pointer fingers together.
Yeah. I weed my theory.
Okay.
So my theory is this about the blank journal. They should use a black light. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Mm-hmm. Boo. Anyway. No, the theory about the blank journal is I had this theory came to me in the shower. I do my best thinking in the shower. So I was in the shower and it came to me all of a sudden. And I think about the journal, we've been approaching this situation all wrong. We've been looking at it the wrong way because journals aren't for reading, they're for writing. So what if we tried writing something in the journal and see if we get a response back? And this may be the way that we've been looking for to connect or converse with this entity or entities or whatever it may be that's writing messages on the walls of the studio. I would be really surprised if we wrote something in this journal if we did not get a response back, whether it be in the journal itself or on the walls. Yes, like Harry Potter, Roger. Thank you.
I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah. It's a very Harry Potter theory, but it makes sense when you think about it. Like, why else would it be blank?
And one of the things that I really enjoyed is basically you saying, like, what are journals for? They're not made to be read. Like, maybe they are to, like, document a person's life, but the person writing it never writes it to think that it's going to be read, that it's just for them. And so I really enjoyed that. But I really like that theory.
I thought it was good, but apparently.
No, you people. Stop it. It was good. It was good. They're just being, they're just upset that they didn't think of it first. So, and you got to stop reading the comments.
No, I like reading the comments. Most of them are supportive, and then there's this one random one that's like, "You're stupid. Why'd you even write this?
You wasted your time on this. Like, oh my gosh,
this is such a waste of time. They already did this in Harry Potter. You're such a loser."
No, like, how do I explain this to you? I mean, the very first comment that we got on the podcast was, Artemis sounds like a boy. So after that, I'm all like, for the comments. Not that I don't read them. If it looks like it's a theory, I will read it, but I don't go and read every single comment anymore. Because people
I do mean. Because I don't get that many. You get so many comments on your stuff that you can't read them. I get like 3 comments on my things that I post, so I'm like, oh, okay. Somebody's talking to me. Hooray! Somebody noticed me.
Somebody noticed me.
No.
Oh my God.
Recognition.
Somebody saw it.
Somebody saw the thing I posted.
But I mean, I thought it was a good theory. And you came up with it where?
In the shower.
In the shower. So, I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I don't really have any theories. I mean, I do want to, like, okay. So again, I'm more scientific than I am anything else. So, I mean, they were, let me go back in my notes here. They talk about, EMF, and Matthias was all like, how does that detect, ghost? Because everything, like what Wood said, everything is going to release like an electric magnetic field detector. Also, one of the reasons why ghost hunters use it is it can cause paranoia. It can cause you to see things that aren't there. It can cause you to feel eerie. It can cause you to, everything that you feel when you like approach a ghost situation could be explained by just a high electric magnetic field around you. So one of the reasons why ghost detectors carry an EMF detector is to make sure that they can rule out technology being one of the influences. And sometimes some certain lights, some electronic equipment like the server or something can emit high EMFs, and that can have an effect on a person's brain. So, I mean, I would have been so stoked if they bought the EMF detector and did a sweep and then found out, hey, like, we could be seeing things, but I mean, the writing on the wall and the fact that people have come and go and that the cameras pick it up, it doesn't really seem like that is the case.
And
But
then also, Matt made the statement that he doesn't put off an electromagnetic frequency, and then
so he's not real.
the Wood stated that he's not that strong, which made Matt laugh very hard.
Yeah. So, another thing, the radio that Bailey was trying to think of the name is called a spirit box. It's one of those equipments that has made its scene in the ghost hunting world maybe in the last 10 years, whereas the EMF has been around for maybe about 20 years because we've always known that it can affect people's brains like that. But the spirit box is a device. It's basically a broken radio that flips through radio channels very quickly. And you can, the theory is that spirits can manipulate radio waves and can actually, speak through radio waves. So you can pick up things that are talking. The science behind it is weak at best, whereas the EMF has strong science. The spirit box is weak, but a lot of paranormals do use it, and it's more of a, like, excuse my language, but it's more for, like, shits and giggles type of thing.
Oh, you cursed it.
I know. And then a plasma detector. Now, plasma is, like, very new. We're talking about, like, the first, like, last couple of years. This, like, plasma detectors have been used. And mostly it's been used, like, on TikTok filters type of thing. Like that weird filter that is supposed to, like, light up when there's movement and stuff like that. No science behind that. But that's what they went with. And I thought it was interesting that the iPhone detector did thermo imaging, LiDAR, and static resistance. So, I mean, I would have to, sorry, Mysterious Wolf. I would have to get more into the science. But again, that's my scientific mind. And I know that paranormal is going to be outside of science. So, because we don't know what it is. So, I'm kind of out of my depth with this. So, but what I do want to talk about, and Shades, because this just happened in the last couple of hours, I do want to bring up, what was just posted. Let's see if I can find it. Did you get a chance to read it?
Read what?
What Matthias posted over on the there it is. Okay. It's up on your screen now. If you go over to YouTube, it is up. I'll read it again, and some things came some things came to mind for me. But I want to know what your opinion is.
It says Ben is telling me that when he occupied Red Base in the past, writing appeared on the wall for him, but he also heard voices. He said that we would hear them soon as well. What on earth does this mean? We haven't heard anything, and we are trying to figure out what he could possibly mean. Any ideas? What this takes me back to, and I don't know why, but I automatically think of the phone ringing in the background in the red base warehouse when I read this. I don't know why. I may be completely off point here, but when he says he heard voices, I think about that phone ringing in the background. And there's something about it that just doesn't sit right with me. We never got answers about that. Where was that phone ringing from? There's no phone in the red base warehouse that we know of.
My brain went somewhere else. But
Where did
kind of
your
on the
brain
same
go?
kind of on the same wavelength as yours.
Yeah.
When we saw the surveillance footage of the murder, we heard noises in the background, like singing. And that's what I think of when he says that they would start hearing them as well.
Oh, yeah.
So there was that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. There was that singing that was going on in the background. Well, I forgot about the phone. So.
Yeah. There was singing in the background of a recording that they listened to. I feel like we tried to analyze that at one point. And it was like, it wasn't layered over top of it was like made into the recording. Like it was a part of the recording. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot about that. What recording was that we listened to? What was that on that they heard that?
The recording was basically the shot.
The murder tape.
Yeah, the
full murder tape. Yes.
It was the one that Ben gave them.
It was like choir music. Mm-hmm. I remember this now. It's slowly coming back to me.
So I really want to know what the definition of voices is.
Yeah.
Because I mean that could be. Is it one voice? But the implications of voices. He said we would hear them soon. We would hear them soon as well. Ness picks up audio, right?
And that leads me to believe is like, how does Ben know this? How does he know they're going to hear them? Like, how does he have this information? Like, did it happen to him exactly as it's happening now? But how does he definitively know that it's going to happen the same way?
I don't know. But, I mean, that kind of disproves the fact that this all started because of the filing cabinet.
Yeah.
So that kind of disproves that theory that this isn't going on just because of the filing cabinet. And when he occupied Red Base in the past, does that mean like he was squatting there? Does that mean he was like back when he was working at Red Base when it was Syntech?
I'm assuming that's what that statement meant, is when he occupied Red Base is when he was working there.
So on YouTube, Cloud Coyote says, "Are the patient's souls trapped in there?" And but that, I mean, if are they trapped in those clipboards in the filing cabinet, and that's what the writing is? But if Ben is referring to he saw the writing and heard the voices in Red Base while the patients were there, this, I don't know.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
I just had wait a minute. I don't no. I don't think it has anything to do with the filing cabinet. Yeah, it started when they got the filing cabinet, but what else did they get? What else did they bring back to the studio? What else have they had all along with the filing cabinet?
The absolute?
The absolute. It has nothing to do with the filing cabinet. It's the absolute doing this.
But the Benjamin didn't get the absolute until they found Wes's body back in season 2.
He had before all of this. The absolute was in Red Base when he worked there.
Because Wesley was making it.
Right. It wasn't until afterwards when they disbanded that Wesley took it and took it to his grave. That's what the glowing was over Wesley's grave. It's the freaking absolute. Why didn't I figure this out? I'm so mad at myself. I just threw my mouse across the room. Sorry. It's the absolute. It's always been the absolute. It has nothing to do with the filing cabinet.
But where's the absolute right now?
Around Matt's neck.
He does have it around his neck?
Yes. He's never taken it off.
We have images of that. But Matt has the absolute around his neck. The writing happens when Matt's not there.
Right.
So, Matt's not there. That means the absolute's
Wait. Say he doesn't have it around his neck. It's somewhere in that studio. It's somewhere. He didn't take it home. I bet. Here's the thing.
You said it was around his neck. Now you're maybe it's not.
He put it around his neck. I'm assuming he kept it around his neck. I don't know, but in the case that he did take it off, he left it at the studio. There's no way he took that thing home. He doesn't want anything dealing with Project 863 at his house. He's going to leave it there in the studio, just like they pushed that filing cabinet in the closet with the bounty paper towels and the freaking Swiffer sweeper, and they wanted to forget about it. He took the absolute off, put it somewhere, and wanted to forget about it. And he can't. Because that's what all this is stemming from, is the absolute.
Okay. I'm getting tagged in chat. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just still kind of butthurt about the absolute, the whole neck theory, that I just hate the absolute.
I'm telling you, it's the absolute. They want you to they want you to think it's the filing cabinet, but it's not the filing cabinet. It's the absolute. I'm telling you, it's somewhere in that studio.
Okay.
Could be in the vault.
You're being tagged too. What is Nugs trying
Chanel says it could be the Mountaineer causing all of this. Oh, Chanel. We have summoned Chanel.
Oh, Chanel is here.
Oh, Chanel.
Chanel.
The Mountaineer's dead. Squatter says, nope, Chanel doesn't know what she's talking about. It's not the Mountaineer.
Quit making me laugh or do the horrible cough. Or there is something else hidden in the studio that reacted when the absolute first appeared once again in the studio, Moose says on Discord.
But what would it react with?
The walls.
Here's the thing. When did the writing start? The writing started when they brought back the filing cabinet, when they brought the absolute back to the studio, when they when they destroyed the server and pronounced Project 863 dead. What do all four of those things have in correlation? How is that going to what's it going to react with? Which one of those four things is causing this? Is it just one, or is it a culmination of all of those things.
Well, again, you would have to look back at when the writing first appeared, which B27 is saying he's already had that before. So you would have to go back and see like what was going on when it first appeared. Compare it to what is happening to Matthias now. So you have like two timelines here. You have when the writing first appeared, B27's timeline, and you had the writing first appeared on Matthias's timeline. So you would have to see what ingredients led up to those writings on each occasion. Does that make sense?
You just used a timeline theory.
Well, no, I've always thought that because we know that there is some type of there's some time and time manipulation going on.
There is. I totally agree. Squatter's here now. Squatter wants to chime in on this.
Hi, Squatter.
Yo.
What's up?
Shades is right.
Aha! Yes! It's confirmed.
Oh, okay. You can't just jump up here and say that. Okay, so
Chanel says Deb is a ghost, which I don't totally disagree with, even though Chanel's trolling all of us right now.
Deb is a ice cream truck, according to Chanel as well.
Yes. She plays Pop Goes the Weasel, and she hands out Mickey Mouse ice cream bars.
Anyway, no, I mean, Shades pretty much nailed it. I mean, it's... We know that Wes had the Absolate, was developing it. We know that from that article that Jordan Kendall wrote. She mentioned it in there. So at the time, before all this, when they saw the writing on the walls before, the Absolate was there. So that is the only common thread going between there then and now.
Yeah,
that we know of.
That's the only constant through all of this. That's the only thing that was constant, was constantly there through every scenario with Ben, with Wesley, right now. That's the only thing all three of these situations have in common is the Absolute. That's what it has to be.
why can't it just be the filing cabinet itself?
Because nobody wants to watch videos about a haunted filing cabinet.
I do if it's true.
No.
Ghosts are accountants.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna do your taxes. Woo.
Okay. Let's say your guys' theory is true.
It is true.
We are.
No, I'm not going to disprove it. I'm going to ask you a question so we can build upon this theory, strengthen it a little bit. So you have B27, Wes developing the Absolute. B27 is now noticing, maybe because it's the effect of the serum that was accidentally injected into him, he is now hearing voices and seeing writing on the wall. So then, okay, who's doing the writing? Because it's before B27 and Wes had the Absolute.
But the accountancy says.
So this
but
is
it's
before...
not. It's not before. It's not before they had test subjects and were doing experiments on live human patients.
I'm still kind of going with...
B27 wasn't... Okay, I was under the assumption that B27 was the first human trial.
Was he?
I don't know.
I don't remember that.
I don't know. It's in my head, and this is what I've always thought. Someone pull up the timeline.
I don't know.
Quick, to the science babes.
Specifically, the first... I think the Science Babes timeline actually might have a human trial, at least trials on there. I haven't looked at it very recently. But I don't think he was the first, but I think he was one of the ones where it worked the worst on, I guess. Or at least because he was an employee, it was more of an important event to happen. You know, obviously, I mean, they're not going to say some random, Joe is important, right? He's just a human subject, but as because he's an employee, I'm thinking it's probably more important to them, to the point where they document that before they documented other people. But who knows?
Well, one of the things that they need to ask B-27 direly was, what was the room that they found the chalk outline? What was that? If that was a patient's cell, then there's our answer. If it was somebody's office, might lead us to another answer. But we need to know what that room was during B-27's era.
I think we're going to find that out in the upcoming episode. Whatever this entity or spirit or whatever you want to call it, they want us to look at this one specific file. There has to be a reason they want us to look at this file. And that's because there are answers that we need in that file. And I think we're going to find out a whole lot about that room from this file.
Something else I found kind of interesting about that. Darn right, I'm going to go ahead.
I love this show.
No, you had mentioned about the rooms, what the room was beforehand. I don't think it's necessarily the room, but the area itself, because Matt and everyone there have said over and over that those walls are not structural. They've been moved and torn down and replaced and everything all the time. And that's kind of what I found kind of interesting about why the whatever it was, the ghost we're calling it, chose the direction through the wall and down the stairs that way, is because whenever it was alive, that's the direction it would have gone.
Right. That's the pathway that it's recreating, because those walls weren't there in its time. And they bring up a good point in the chat. There is the fire that we still literally have no information about. The fire that happened at Syntec where 4 employees died. We know nothing about that. We've been given no information about that. Could this be stemming from that?
In that book, there was someone writing on the wall, and the plot was, if I remember, was about staying comfortable and losing resources and lose everything or go. What book are we talking about, Drawing Studios? Oh. Brandon's in the chat trying to make up Spire acronyms. Yeah. Sam prevents internal revenue emergency.
Well, I mean, he's not lying.
I do know that Spire, yesterday, I didn't have the chance to listen in. I was at work and I was very busy today. I didn't have the chance to listen to the subject, the Science Babes stream, but Ink Knight, you were there. Can you bring us up to speed on what they were saying?
I just managed to get the microphone working.
Okay.
I was gonna... First things first, I don't think... When I mentioned... I mentioned in the chat of the accident of 93, 94.
Mm-hmm.
The timeline, the Science Babes are not sure which year it was, but whatever happened in that accident led to the previous head scientist getting fired, according to the files that we figured out yesterday. We also do have from yesterday. Oh, Keen already spoiled it, but the Science Babes believe that SPIRE stands for Syntec Psychoelectronic Radiation Emitter.
Ooh, I like that.
Radiation emitter. So
it's not Chanel probably invented recent events.
Or subject for podcast is really epic.
Thanks, Brandon.
I think it's that one. I think it's that one. No, they came up with Syntax Psychoelectronic Intelligent Radiation Emitter.
Mm.
It was
I got
on
on.
stage.
They were kind of just going over this, right? They had just kind of come up with this, and I get on there last night, and they go, okay, we're gonna stop everything. Nugs, you need to hear this, and they're like, Syntax Psychoelectronic Intelligent Radiation Emitter, and they're comparing this to the original documents we found in the Mountaineer of the mind control documents. I really wish they were here because they can explain it better than I can. But it tied into the mind control
experiment.
stuff, the psychoelectronic weapons, and that type of stuff. And I thought, whoa, that actually could make sense because they think that this Project Spire is a kind of is a kind of two-parter with Pegasus. So it goes with Pegasus, is what they're thinking.
Mm. Well, what we do know that they're, because okay, so we're going back to like the very first kind of evidence. That would also go along with the look closer. Because I know that we are supposed to be digging into the evidence that we already have.
Mm-hmm.
And just now we're led to new evidence. So now we need to compare the new evidence to the old evidence to look closer. I think the science babes are onto it. Also, I do know that they Steph has made a post on Reddit. So I encourage everyone to go over there and look at it.
That's where I'm grabbing yesterday's notes from there because
yeah, if you
I
can
kind
post
of
the
woke up with
link
it.
so people can
Already ahead of you.
all right, thank you. So people can follow it, just even drop a comment so you can come back to it later or whatnot, or like it so you can come back to it later. It's definitely interesting, and I do understand that a lot of their material is very dense and you have to read it like 4 or 5 times. But it is worth going over. So
This
you
specific
can go through
Reddit
it.
post.
I'm just waiting for them to put the personnel files and stuff up on the evidence
Chanel!
list.
Yeah.
I want to look into that.
Chanel!
Yeah, Chanel, come on, I need to look
Chanel.
Hey, that's a
Please,
lot of
Chanel.
Artemis,
paperwork.
are you
That's a
okay there?
lot of
Chanel,
paperwork. So.
yesterday the science
It is.
babes spent the entire
Aw, feel better,
Oh,
Chanel.
feel better.
Feel better.
I'm
But
there with you,
I
Chanel.
do know that the science babes spent the entirety of yesterday trying to look at the video footage and do their best to transcribe what they could see and what Matt was reading. But yeah, this specific Reddit post is not very heavy. It's more of a sum up of everything that we figured out yesterday. Besides the Spire stuff, there is a theory. Stefan Kalin do think that the order of the footsteps is above the order of when they found out the writing on the walls. Because "Do you fancy me mad" could have already been written down. The silhouette could have already been there. And because the room is completely empty and unused, what the ghosts did was make a bigger ruckus.
So that also brings up another thing. So we're also talking about that because with the new post that happened today, we have to assume that this body was there before B-27's accident, right?
Yep.
I have a question.
That makes-
So, those were newer floors too. Whoever put down that floor would have seen the outline.
Syntax stuff, like
No,
I see
no.
trouble
The new
here.
flooring. No, you're confused. The new flooring was outside the room. if you go back and watch the episode, Matthias compares the flooring and says, yeah, this room is old flooring. We replaced outside. We have never replaced the inside ones. Don't hum me. Go watch
Okay.
the episode. Sorry. I love you.
I'm wondering how technical I should get here.
No.
I'm honestly
kidding.
trying to find on the Science Babes timeline I know they placed like light mentions of dates of the files and stuff. I am trying to find I'm trying to see if I remember when Benjamin joined the company, because if that was before either the
Well,
date
it
of
said
the fire,
88,
which is a
didn't it?
completely
It was 1988.
1988 was that file when okay.
never mind.
I have seen a couple of theories on this. 1988 was mentioned in the file, but people are assuming that's when the file was made. It didn't have a date on it as far as I could see. We're waiting for the files to be uploaded into the evidence for premium members on Spellbound. But it said that he had joined the team in 1988. Now, because somebody had calculated how old, because I guess it mentioned in the file that he was 33 years old, and then people calculated how old he would be from 33 years old from 1988. Now, 1988 was a direct reference onto when he was employed, not when the file was made. So when the file was made, at that time, B27 was 33 years old. We don't have a date for that. So we can't really calculate accurately how old B27 is. He could have been a child prodigy and joined Syntech at 12 years old because he was a child genius, So, and he would have joined in 1988. We do know he has to at least, you would have to calculate, I don't know. So hold on, let me figure. We have to at least calculate. Go ahead, Shane.
I thought they said he was 30 when he joined in 1988.
No, it said he had joined. No, okay. It said that he was 33 years old and then he joined Syntech in 1988.
Oh, okay.
I believe. Please, somebody, please. They said he was 33 when he joined.
Yeah.
Did he? I thought it was part of the description. He's black hair, blue eyes, age 33, joined Syntech in 1988. Please, yeah.
That is a little bit ambiguous.
That somebody because why would you say he
1988? 1988 would be.
That was 33 years ago.
That's exactly 33 years ago.
Yeah,
so unless he joined when he was born, that would be inaccurate.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that people are confusing the data because the first thing that was read was his description. Black hair, blue eyes, age 33, joined in 1988. Not that he joined when he was 33.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
So, I mean, yeah, see, Moose says I'm right. Like, if you go back and listen, they're giving a description of Benjamin Cobalt at the time that the file was written, not back in 1988. The file could have been written in 1988, but then we wouldn't have Jordan Kendall in the file system. So, yeah, the file was written, past Jordan Kendall being hired by Deb. And it also mentions events that happened before 1988 in Deb's files. So I'm pretty sure that the science base, especially Steph, she could probably pinpoint probably estimate when the files were made according to the events that are provided in the files. So
I know online we found pretty strange that the files were in color. So while I do believe, because it had to be somewhat recent, because even on the 90s, when the first color printers started coming out, printing in color was pretty expensive, like the at-home printers. So I know there's thought that the files could be more recent than like the beginning of 2000s, and not like when everybody joined at first. It would have taken a while.
I don't. Okay, let's see. If he was, I mean, I'm still stuck on this people's maths, because people. Sorry, I said maths like I'm British. Math.
Quick maths.
Well, in England they call maths. But yeah, if people's maths
We
that
have a
they are
quote.
doing, they're doing that. If he was 33 in 1988, that was 33 years ago. He'd be 66. I don't think we're dealing with a 66-year-old. Sorry.
Unless the super soldier serum is really as
Yeah.
marvelous if it is. And if it is, I wanted to save some to the side for when we start getting old. Like, grandma age. Let's just drink some serum and go back to our 30s.
Can I go back to when I was 23 and drink some?
Okay.
What are you groaning about?
I don't know. Just that there's just something happens to your bodies after you reach 30. It's like your body just goes, we're done.
I don't care who you are or where you are in life. After you hit 30, if you are 30 years or older, stop lying to yourself. You are lactose intolerant. I don't care. I don't care if you just turned 30 today and you drank milk yesterday. You are now lactose intolerant. Give it up.
Heck no brings
You're
up
already.
Heck no
Like-
brought up something really interesting. We have files on Sam that predicted her birth. Maybe these files are the same thing. They're predicting things, but again, why would they be in color?
Exactly.
Let's
True.
look up when color printers first became a thing.
I just had that open from yesterday. If I knew we were gonna be started talking about this, I would have. Come on, where is it? We did find out. Where is it? And I checked that first for a specific compatibility with the Apple II, because that's the computers we see on the office most
1980s
often.
were color printers were usually resigned to print shops. So
Yes.
Yeah.
it's got to be the
only
90s.
only in
Yeah.
1977 the first color printout came into existence.
I
Yeah,
could
in the
see
1980s, color printers were used just by print shops, and color copies were costly to produce. So we're talking about maybe early 20s.
I could the earliest I could ever see this was like maybe 97, 98.
Even
Wait,
then,
what are we talking about?
even then, it
Color
would be
printers.
we're talking
Color
about
printers.
In relation to
even-
what?
In relation to
The files
having them at
are
home and-
colored.
Oh, the file.
I-
I see.
like that that's the earliest I could ever see anyone owning a colored printer would be 97, 98, somewhere along those lines.
And even then, it would be extremely expensive.
Right.
Maybe
And
because it
Panda
says
is saying that it had to be in the
rich.
2000s because Jordan Kendall joined in 2002.
Yeah. It has to be early 2000s.
maybe they were printed later on.
Or
Like
they could
the
have been
old files were written up on paper.
they could
Yeah.
have been reprinted or
Yeah.
you know.
That does remind me of something. Do you all remember that conversation? That the printout of a conversation that the text was red and the background was black. That could have not been printed at the time of whenever that chat was had, because the text is in red. 2, printers were still mostly only black and white, like not even gray. And it's not like I don't. It's really, it had to be a more recent printout of that conversation.
Especially for how good the quality of the print was too.
Yeah, that too.
Like it seemed like a newer color printer. Nothing like
Let's
old.
let's pull some people up from the audience to join our little conversation here. If you have any thoughts or theories about stuff that we have already gone over, or even something that we might have missed, please go ahead and raise your hand. YouTube, I am reading the comments, so if you have a theory, I am looking at the comments. But if you're here on the Discord, all you have to do is raise your hand, and Shades will go ahead and pull some of the people up. Once again, if you are a member of our YouTube page, you do have a better chance at getting called up to the stage. So that
Which is exactly what I'm going to do right now, because I see a tier 3 member with their hand raised. Isra Space Bean. Come on up to the stage.
Heck yeah. Me with food in my mouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
After this, we also have another theory because of the whole phone extension
Hello,
stuff.
Ezra.
It's gonna be fun.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I was literally not prepared. I just raised my hand. Thank you, Shades.
No problem.
We caught you off guard.
Aha.
Yeah, really. Well, going back to the post Matt posted in the community feed, do we think Ben was referring, like, he was talking to Matt, obviously, but do we think he was, like, directly talking to Matt about what will come, or did he actually mean the whole team? Because if we go by what we saw in that small trailer, I think I only saw Sam and Matt in the car, which makes it hard to believe that he was addressing Sam as well, because she was behind the camera. I don't know.
So you're saying maybe he's just specifically saying that maybe Matthias would be the only one that would hear the voices.
Because Matt is the only one that's been exposed to the serum.
I like that.
Haha, smart.
Because I feel like this thing was stabilizing the serum by just more radiation is kind of like just taking the counter agent, which works for a small amount of time, but not all of it, you know, like for the long run. So it might have worn off, it might have actually not worked at all, who knows. But I feel like it would be some hint to side effects of the serum, maybe.
He did say one of the side effects of the serum that Matthias was going through was he couldn't hear out of his left ear. Maybe that's because it was being, I don't know, fixed to be able to hear these voices. Oh, interesting.
But then he got his hearing back. Like it kept bothering him and kept bothering him.
The radiation stabilized the serum.
The radiation has stabilized the serum in his body now, and now he's like a super soldier, and he doesn't even know it.
I mean, if normal radiation could bring him back to normal, then what are the odds that if the acronym we have for the Spire right now is correct?
No, the radiation did not bring him back to normal. It stabilized the serum's effects. So the rampant effects that he was going through has already happened, but the changing he was going through happened, but the radiation stabilized it. So now we don't know if it's going to continue to change him, but we do know that it's going to be more stable and less corrosive on the body.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
We also know he got, like somebody said this in the chat here. He also got injected by one of the police officers, right?
Yeah, there was something that they injected them.
We don't know what that is yet either.
No. Because
And I think
usually
it's-
when they're doing testing, they only take out, they don't put in.
Right. So, and I'm
That's usually
thinking
a
the
bad
serum.
sign.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the serum from day one was intended to be like a mind control thing. So, who knows? You know, Deb's telling them to find the spire. You know, what if this spire is like a tower that they can turn on to use it towards mind control? I mean, literally, all they have to do is flip a switch, and now Matthias is under their control.
Yeah, and
That's
Deb
what I
kind of
was
talked about
thinking.
that it's bigger than us, and it's not only about the team, but more people like Benjamin. So I would
Right.
assume something like that.
Yeah.
AJTXVV on YouTube said, let's wait for the spirit box, then maybe the voices can be heard. Because that is what a spirit box does.
Yes, it's a
That's
radio
true.
that you change the channels on.
So maybe
Another
only
feature.
Matthias is the one that can hear it, but they have to use the spirit box in order for the audience, in order for
Sure.
everyone else to hear it as well.
Right.
That is
Yeah.
interesting. Thank you.
There is another machine that I think they could bring into as well. It's less expensive than the little camera that they bought, but
Dude, everything like ghost hunters use, even the laser grid to
yeah. So I think they should bring in. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called a REM pod. So what it does is it emits an EMF signal, right, around itself, and it detects any changes in the field around it.
Yeah. But
That's
how is
interesting.
how is that different than just a detector?
As if there's something in that field, such as the spirit.
So
I
it's
think they
supposed to
should use
feed
that.
energy to the spirit as well.
Is it?
Well, because there's no difference between a detector and emitting a EMF, but a lot of people believe that spirits need to draw energy. That's why, like, batteries
exactly.
die
Yeah.
quick. Lights go out because they're drawing
Yeah.
power.
Oh, they use
can
that
even
for
draw
Buddy Rock.
power. This is all theory, by the way, but they can
Yeah.
even draw power from people. Like when people walk into
They
a
can.
room, they get unfeeling. They get a sense of unfeelingness, like uneasiness. I mean, and they can also feel drained as well because the spirits are drawing on
I
them.
mean,
So
if
I can see
people
where
do
the thing
emit-
might feed the beast.
I also think they should go back. Remember that teddy bear that they used in the video of the Boo Buddy?
Yes.
They used that
Oh.
wrong, and I was kind of angry watching it. I was like, "You guys are using this all wrong."
The
Like,
Boo Buddy?
Come on.
Is that the Boo
Yeah,
Buddy?
so-
Moose mentioned
yeah.
it.
hmm
The
So
Boo
what it's
Buddy.
supposed to do is
Boo
essentially
buddy.
it will go off if something is kind of touching it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if the temperature changes, it'll have a visual or a audio cue. It'll say like I'm cold or something like that, right?
Something
but
touches
it'll-
me, I'm going off too.
They should do something, because what the ghost hunters have done in the past is they'd stick it in the middle of the room and they'd ask, "Hey, if you're in here, can you touch this?" Like they usually use it for kids, like kid spirits, right? They say, "Hey, you can go and play with this bear," and sometimes the spirits will go and touch this bear, and this bear will have audio cues saying, "I'm being, messed with," right? They just kind of stuck it in, turn it on.
Yeah.
Then they
I was
just
like,
left
"What are
it
you guys
there.
doing?"
Yeah.
So I think they
Where-
should actually use it.
But where would they put it? I'm confused about that. Like,
Well, they could
should
put
they
it
stay
in
overnight
the
again?
room. I mean, for one thing, they need to get a camera in that room where the chalk outline
Yeah.
is, and they could put the Boo Buddy
Oh, yeah.
there,
Yeah.
like sitting on the sofa or something, or even on top of the chalk outline.
We just mentioned, oh god, what if they experimented on kids?
No,
Oh, God.
Those
no,
things-
we're not
Those
gonna.
things,
We
like,
already
they-
there. I already get like made fun of for having B27 has a daughter. We don't need to talk about
We're not talking about the children. No.
not the children.
Not the children.
We all think about the children, but what about the children?
We
Well-
are the world.
Well, thank you
The
so
MCA.
much, Ezra.
Sorry.
We're going to go ahead and pull somebody else up, but thank you so much for that. That was a good insight.
Thank you for bringing me up.
Yeah, thank
No
you.
problem.
Okay. Before we pull someone else up, I finally managed to scroll through the entire thing with the science base, and I remembered the fun extension stuff. I do want, like, it started with us thinking about it, but I do want another opinion on it. So, basically, we know that Wes 015 had the phone extension in Syntec 015. And
Is it an
What-
extension or an area code?
extension,
No, they said
inside,
it was his internal extension at Syntec was 015.
yes.
Okay, so it's internal. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And the science babes have come up with the idea that was 015, phone line 015, and that he'd be usually in location 1, suite 5.
Oh.
Cypher's 590 reversed would be Cypher's location 5, suite 9. Debs is a little bit unclear, but they just do think that that was location 3, suite 0, or just location 3 in general. Because as we know, Deb hopped around projects a lot, but she was mainly in location 3. And B27 would be location 2, suite 7.
Lemon Lemon says, "What if 863 was Deb's extension?" My answer to that would be, it wasn't, because it would have. I don't think 863 was, because 863 was the project, right? It wasn't an
Yes.
extension. You know, where,
There
because you don't have a project 015, right? You know.
There was a theory that 863 could have been locations 8, 6, and 3. That they needed to go to those locations. Just throwing that
Well,
out there.
tell me where location 8 is, and I'll be on my way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have the whole murder tape scenario that happened on August the 6th, 2003.
Yeah. I mean,
And that's that's literally where Project 863 is stemming from. I mean, it has
but
to be.
how,
There's no other.
we don't know, because
Right.
science babes, I need you.
Moose,
I believe
yeah,
863
correct.
was reference, like, I think the subject files for 863 were before the 863 date.
Yeah, a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I think
years
that was back
before.
in the 90s.
I'm pretty sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is, again, leads to the